No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You've got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Pow day.
Dude, let's go.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live from BroncoNationNews.com is presented by RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Now the final seconds ticking off the clock. R.J. Keene almost shot it, decided against that. But the Broncos moving on here in Las Vegas. The college basketball crown. The Broncos an 89-59 win over George Washington last night. The Broncos advance to face Butler in the quarterfinals of the college basketball crown tomorrow evening, where $50,000 will be on the line in NIL money. The Broncos not done yet. They'll play in April for the first time in program history tomorrow evening. How we doing, everybody? Happy Tuesday morning to you. Happy Taco Bell Tuesday to you here at Bronco Nation News. My name is BJ Rains, joined as always by Jay Tust, sports director at KTVB. I am live here at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. Boise State will try to get a win tomorrow, so Jay will be live here in Las Vegas over the weekend. And Jay, a nice, fun game. Got off to a slow start yesterday, but the Broncos find a way to battle back and had a really impressive final 30 minutes here, and they're moving on here in Vegas.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, in the same game, they probably played maybe their worst 10 minutes of the season, and they're in. One could argue close to their best 30 minutes in a game. I mean, after that slow start, to have 3 points in, what was it, the first 8-13 and to finish with 89 is pretty wild.
Yes, it was. 86 points, as you said, in the final 31 minutes or so. The Broncos start 1 of 11 from the field. They had 3 points, as you said, in the first 7-8 minutes. But luckily, George Washington didn't do much themselves either. Boise State, as Leon Rice said in the postgame, could have been down 20-2, but played solid defense, hung around, and then finally started hitting some shots. And I got to tell you, Jay, for first day of the college basketball crown, I'm not sure what kind of the national reaction in terms of folks watching it on TV was, but I thought it was a very first-class event. I know the crowd wasn't massive, as everybody expected it to not be massive. I mean, I actually thought it was better than I expected to be frank. There was 1,000 people there, maybe. I don't know. It was way more than I thought there'd be, to be honest. And so for a first day of an event, 3 good games. Boise State's win was the one non-close game of the 4. It's a first-class event. All the behind-the-scenes stuff, all the signage in the concourses, the media setup. I really thought it was nice, and I hope this thing gets a little more interest and steam throughout the week, and then I hope it continues in the future here because it's a cool idea. And I thought for day one, man, I'm not sure what the presentation looked like on TV, but I thought it was pretty well done.
I thought the broadcast was pretty good. They did some things where they interviewed players during the games and things like that. So, I mean, that seemed like it was cool. And I don't know if it's ever going to be an event where you're going to expect like a packed house, this early in the tournament. Maybe once it gets a little bit later on towards the weekend. And I mean, 8 days in Las Vegas would be a long time, right? So
yes,
maybe you get into the semifinals and the finals, more people show up, and either way, Boise State proved that they are a team to be reckoned with in Las Vegas. That was all the games were pretty close yesterday, with the exception of Boise State. They absolutely hammered George Washington, clearly.
Yeah, and as you reference, I mean, even our contest winner for BNN will be flying down on Friday and hopefully going to the semifinal games. Coming up here in about 7 minutes, Jay, Corey Chidester is going to join us. He has gained national kind of fame here over the last 24 hours or so. He was the Utah super fan. He got made famous by the Utah Butler game. He was sitting courtside. You had, Thad Matta during a timeout calling him out for being a reason his guys were missing free throws. He had this weird, somewhat annoying, I think you could say, probably, scream during the free throws. He was talking trash to some of these players. And he decided after Utah lost that he was going to stick around and do it to support Boise State. And I got to tell you, man, watching him last night, anytime George Washington would miss a free throw as the game went on. I mean, you literally had Tyson Degenhart's family. You had other people in the stands like saluting this guy, and he's pointing back at them like, no, it's not me, it's you guys, and they're like going back and forth, acknowledging each other on missed free throws here as if that was a, factor in this game. And I know it ended up being a 30-point win, but then you had David Moats on Twitter offering him tickets if he wants to come back on Wednesday and root for Boise State. So this guy might be, he lives in Las Vegas, I think. We'll just have a fun little chat with him. And he was just a Utah super fan living in Las Vegas. I know Fox Sports 1 interviewed him and became kind of a cool story yesterday, but for some reason decided to pull for Boise State in the second game. It worked out, and now he's got an opportunity to kind of help follow this run for Boise State the rest of the tournament if he wants it.
Well, you look at it, and I was just looking it up. So Butler was only 13 of 20 at the free throw line. That's 65%. George Washington was 11 of 23 at the free throw line, 47.8%. So for whatever he was doing, I mean, his free throw defense was on point there.
I think Thad Matta's comment during the timeout was our biggest problem right now is number 23 sitting over there, basically pointing the guy out in his jersey, saying like he was getting in their heads or whatever. Because, Jay, as you know, I mean, it's one thing when it's a full-packed arena, but when it's an empty arena, you can hear everybody that's yelling, and this one guy just was right there courtside, right across the bench, and you had players, when they'd hit a shot, talking trash back to him, and he was getting into it with them. And so just kind of a fun little side story to this Crown tournament. Corey Chidester, and yeah, he's going to join us here in about 5-6 minutes. And also saw our man DJ, big fan back in Boise, hyping up the players, and they got him on Fox Sports 1 after the game. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, DJ, he's the best, man. We flew back from Vegas with him last time. He was sitting right by us.
That's right. And that was cool. He got
he
in
is the number one Boise State fan, probably.
It was interesting, man, looking at doing the crowd. When it's not full, you can see people in the crowd pretty easily. And I saw Lon Kruger and Kevin Kruger sitting together there in the middle of the stands watching the games, then hanging out in the VIP area. I saw Fran McCaffrey, the old Iowa coach, who's now the Penn coach. And I think, Jay, as I saw him walking out, I think he might have a son that plays for Butler.
He does.
Okay.
He transferred.
Okay, so that was why he was there. But, I mean, he was talking to Leon Rice before the game, and I sent you a picture because I'm like, is that Fran McCaffrey over there? And certainly it was. But and then there's scouts from, like, half the NBA teams that were there as well, and there were some other dignitaries. We had our man Derek Stevens from Cirque on the pregame show as well. But like I said, overall, for a first day of a tournament, 4 more games today, 3 good games. Like I said, I thought anyone that went had a fun experience, a good experience. They'll do it again, the next couple of days here. And then, as you said, move over to T-Mobile Arena for the semifinals and finals. But Jay, what else stood out to you about this game? Because, slow start, as we said, but let's talk about Tyson for a minute, because once again, I saw one of your tweets and you're right on. And that we talk about this, it seems like every game. And Leon Rice even said it in the post game. Like, yeah, it's nice to be a team player and do all this, but I've been trying all season, like shoot the dang ball. And he was very efficient, 8 for 12 from the field, 3 for 3 from 3-point range. But it just took the second half. Again, I saw our buddies from Circa, and they had all bet on Boise State, not at Circa, at some other place. And late in the first half, and I said, yeah, this is kind of what happens with Tyson, because they were talking about wanting to see Tyson in person and all this, and I said, yeah, it's kind of what happens. All of a sudden in the second half, you're going to look up and he has 20 points, and it's all basically what happened. Just a little bit of I don't even know if slow start's the right word, because he didn't miss any shots. He just wasn't taking shots, but he got more aggressive later in the game. He gets to 19, and he is now 10 points away from 2,000 for his career.
Yeah, almost 10 minutes, I want to say. It took him almost 10 minutes to get his first shot up. And of course, once he does, it's in the paint, it's a layup, and he makes it. And one could argue that was actually kind of like the turning point in the game almost, BJ. It wasn't going very well for the Broncos offensively prior to that. And I think what happened is they were down 9-3. Meadow hit a 3, and then the next time down, Tyson hit a layup, and that just kind of it was really over from there. I mean, it was a blowout from that point on.
And you had 15 points from Pearson Carmichael, also 6 steals for Pearson.
Yeah.
That was a big number for him. The team as a whole had 16 steals, Jay, tied a program record. They turned that into a 27-5 margin in off turnovers, was 27-5, also an 18-0 edge in fast break points. So especially in that second half there, Boise State got a lot of steals and turned it into layups at the other end. They turned defense into offense. I thought, the offense was solid in the second half, but I thought the defense, especially early when they were really struggling to score, really played well last night.
Yeah, I don't know if there was a statistical category that Boise State didn't win last night, but I think one of the biggest ones for me, BJ, was 34-14. Boise State's bench outscoring George Washington's bench. And it feels like it had been a minute since Boise State really got a nice lift from the guys coming off the bench. And I thought that group was outstanding. I mean, had they gotten a performance like that from those guys at the Mountain West tournament, it might have been the difference. Those guys were just kind of quiet during their last run in Las Vegas. But
yes.
Julian Bowie 10 points, Javen Buchanan had 11. He early on that first half too was I think 9 of his 11 probably came in the first half. I can't remember exactly, but he played really well and gave him some offense early. And how about RJ Keene too? The only times, BJ, he had 7 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. Every time RJ Keene has had a 5-5 game this season, Boise State has won by at least 30.
Wow. Which is how many games?
2. He also did it against Oakland.
There you go.
2 for 2. I'll take it.
Well, also improved the stat of Boise State's record when he plays at least 16 minutes or whatever it is as well. He played 24 minutes in this game. You mentioned Javen Buchanan. Yeah, I thought he was very assertive, looked more kind of like himself in terms of getting some shots, from his spots and things. Ugbo had 6 points off the bench as well. You only needed 5 points from Alvaro Cardenas. He didn't really score as much in this game, but had 6 assists. Wasn't his best game of the season, 4 turnovers, but he, did enough to run the offense there. But Meadow, 15 points. And then how about the freshman? Pearson Carmichael, 15 points. You mentioned Bowie, 10. For these freshmen to get some experience in postseason play and both reach double figures, I thought was big.
Yeah, I think that, Pearson missed some shots early, but it didn't affect the rest of his game, and he just kind of kept plugging away. And you saw, he against New Mexico, when he had that big game, he was 5 of 11 from 3 and did most of his damage from behind the arc. And yesterday, he only goes 1 of 7 from behind the arc. But, at the end of the day, he ends up 5 of 6 inside the arc. He had a nice little finish in transition and things like that. So I thought that showed some maturity to play through some early missed shots and still find a way to have a productive scoring game with 15 points. I guess the thing that stood out to me, BJ, is, I know that 40 of the first 50 points were scored by guys that could return next season. And overall, you're looking at 64 of the 89 total points were scored by guys that can come back next season. And so I don't know if that was intentional. or whatnot. I know that Leon told us they want to go down there and have some fun, and maybe it would look a little bit different from earlier in the season, because they want to play free and they want to get guys involved, and they want to have fun in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you kind of saw that. Like I don't. I'd have to go back and look it up, but I mean, especially Alvaro and Tyson, those guys have been carrying the scoring load all season long. So for the rest of those guys to chip in like they did was impressive.
And maybe we save this for after our guest here in the next segment, but I couldn't help also, like, I'm not trying to play doomsday scenario, but we talk about bowl games and other coaches watching and scouting guys off guys' rosters. I couldn't help but think about 95% of college basketball coaches not coaching right now and probably sitting at home watching that game and seeing what a Julian Bowie did, or an Andrew Meadow or a Pearson Carmichael, and telling their, texting their booster, we gotta come up with enough money to get this guy. Like, I mean, you hope it doesn't happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but that's certainly something that we'll get to here in the next segment. Jay, do you want to thank a couple of quick sponsors before we get to our special guest? Hey, rowpaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, our title sponsor here at BNN. Rowpaint.com, all your painting needs, concrete coatings, interior, exterior painting. Hit them up at rowpaint.com. Taco Bell, great food, great work environment if you're looking for a job. TacoBellWorks.com. You can get more information on applying for a job at a Treasure Valley Taco Bell location. And don't forget, they've donated committed $400,000 to student-athlete scholarships for the men's and women's basketball teams at Boise State. So SON Management Group, the Nicolason family, we appreciate them. Check them out, Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. Idaho Central Credit Union, there's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest is that mobile e-branch online banking right there in your smartphone. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com, and make the switch, folks. Rain's family didn't realize what we were missing. We made the switch to ICCU. We could not be happier, and we never have to go into the branch. We can do everything on our phone, on our laptop. It's just so easy. Make the switch today, ICCU.com. And hey, Jackson's has the $5 meal deal going on. Kettle chips and 2 hot dogs for $5. That's right, $5 gets you 2 hot dogs and a kettle chips at Jackson's. And don't forget, they have the 99-cent coffee as well. 99-cent coffee anytime, anywhere, using your Let's Go Rewards app at Jackson's. And I do want to thank Snake River Pool and Spa as well. Snake River Pool and Spa, patio and game, thespateam.com. Whether it's a pool table, a sauna, whether it's, maybe a spa for the back patio. I mean, they got you covered. 4 locations, Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. Been around since 1978. Check them out online at thespateam.com. And if you need some Boise State gear, the blueandorange.store.com has you covered. The Blue and Orange Store is the best selection, the best prices of Boise State gear online anywhere in the world at the blueandorangestore.com, or you can just go into the Boise Town Square Mall, second floor next to Pro Image there. The best cap selection, that whole wall there on the left side of all the hats. Clearance rack in the front of the store is the best value in town. So we appreciate Travis Hawks and company, and we ask you to support the Blue and Orange Store online at the blueandorangestore.com. All right, Jay, let's bring on our special guest. And how about this? He's even decked in the Utah gear here, ready to go right off the bat here, man. We appreciate it. All I know about you, man, is your name is Corey. I'm looking forward to chatting with you. You became a national story yesterday. Welcome to Boise, Idaho, and social media here. How you doing, man?
Appreciate it. Not doing too bad. Voice is a little scratchy. I don't know if you can hear that, but other than that, doing well. God, pretty crazy 24 hours or so. That's for sure. But
no doubt, man. No doubt. All right. So first, you just give us the quick, Cliff Notes version. You live in Las Vegas, but you're a Utah fan, and you knew they were in the tournament, so you wanted to go out yesterday. Tell us the backstory here.
For sure. Yeah. But I moved out to Vegas last summer from North Carolina. So it was a borderline dream to have the Utes playing in Vegas in this tournament this weekend. Courtside seats were actually pretty cheap, in my opinion. They were a little over $200 with fees. So that's $100 a ticket per game to sit courtside. I don't care what kind of a tournament it is. I don't care who's playing. That sounds like a pretty good deal to me. So it's just, of course, had to cheer on the Utes first. I worked graveyard shifts, so it was easy. I didn't have to miss work. Right on for that. Save the PTO for later. And then, easy enough. And it was easy to scream for Boise State afterwards. I have family that live in Pocatello and Caldwell. So I was like, all right, sure. I'll support some families teams for sure.
Oh, you're muted, Jay. You're muted, Jay.
At what point in time did you kind of come up with this call or yell or whatever? I mean, was that your intention going to the game?
Yeah. So a little bit of a backstory. So I went to a Utah Jazz Charlotte Hornets game in 2024 in February, or no, it was late January. And being one of the few Jazz fans in the arena, I sat right behind the Jazz bench. and I was doing the same sort of scream or screech. I've heard the cheat screech on Twitter and stuff like that. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. It's just sort of, I was in the Marine Corps, so we, kind of get a little wild sometimes and make some weird noises, to say the least. But yeah, it just sort of, I don't know. It's all in the chest. Just project with your chest, and you just use your hands, and you can vocalize it a little bit better. But the arena's pretty quiet, so I don't know if I'm really that loud. It's just the arena's quiet, so I don't know.
Now, you did have, Thad Matta, the opposing coach at Butler, literally in his interview during a timeout say, we got to worry about number 23 over there on the sidelines. He was shouting you out. You did a live interview on Fox Sports 1. I mean, you go there to have some fun, and the next thing you know, you're blowing up on social media. What was that like for you?
Oh, yeah, that was wild. I was talking to my wife at halftime after that interview, or whenever, a little later after that interview was over. She's like, you sounded nervous. I was like, well, I didn't want to curse. I didn't want to say anything bad. I wanted to be humble. But no, it's been a pretty wild experience, that's for sure. And I've gotten almost 300 Twitter followers since then. So everybody on Twitter has been awesome. It's been really fun, and just trying to be humble and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty entertaining. It's pretty entertaining, though. But I'm having a good time. Everybody's been really cool, really nice, especially all the Boise State fans, though. Shout out for sure.
I mean, it actually worked, though, too. You look at it, and Butler was, they only shot like 65% from the free throw line. George Washington, you were really in their head, apparently. Your free throw defense outstanding. They were 11 of 23. So what goes through your mind, I guess, when you see your efforts translate into that type of production on the stat sheet?
Right? Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's just when a player goes to the free throw line, especially in a quiet arena. It's like, okay, so I'm the only one that they can hear. All right, so a quick little like scoreboard search on what their first name is, and then of course their number, and I can generally see their last name or hear their last name on the PA. And then it's just as simple as just screaming out their name. It's like, hey, I know your first name. I'm going to let you know that it's on you, dog. Like, it's just something as simple as that. And I had a ref talk to me at the beginning of that Boise State game, and he was like, hey, you can't talk. I can't remember exactly what he said, but something along the lines of, you can't talk to players to where they would react. And I was like, okay. It's like, I'm not cursing or being vulgar, but he was like, yeah, it's still the same thing. You can't make them react. I was like, okay, I'm still screaming at the free throw lines, though. But no, it was fun, and it's easy when it's just quiet. It's easy.
So here's the 12 seconds, Jay, of a video that I did get during the game here to give folks some perspective here. He's taking it. Now, I got to say, man, now, one of the cool things was during the Boise State game, when they would miss a free throw, I saw you acknowledging some of the – I mean, Tyson, you probably didn't know, but I mean, Tyson Degenhart, the star player on Boise State, his parents were over there giving you kind of the salute and the hat tip, and you're going back and forth with them. And I know they're like giving you credit and pointing when they're missing one, and you're kind of going, no, it's all you guys. You were interacting a little bit with the fans there behind the bench. That was kind of cool.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I met with some of them, took a handful of pictures between halftime and after the game as well. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, I feel like I'm not doing much. I'm just yelling at somebody. But, I mean, if I can help the team win, and if it's okay, I'm going to throw out a little bet. I did a parlay between the Utah Butler game and then Boise State.
Okay.
So I bet on Boise State to win. So,
okay. That's
I had extra motives, but nonetheless, like I said, family in Boise area and stuff. But
yeah, that's what I was going to wonder in terms of why you chose Boise. Okay, we have a family connection. We also have the pocketbook connection where you're trying to win there. Now, you did have an assistant coach on Boise State tweet at you and offer you tickets to the game Wednesday and the rest of the tournament. We've got fans here offering to buy you some Boise State gear for the next game if you can make it back on Wednesday. Are you available tomorrow night, and do you plan to take up Coach Moats on his offer for some tickets here? Are you all in for Boise State the rest of this tournament here?
You know what? Yes, I will be all in on Boise for sure. The only thing is my wife is about 11 weeks pregnant, so she had some nausea yesterday. I would have stayed for extra games. So as long as she's good and the family's good and kids are good, yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there.
All right, Jay, we got to get this guy some more Twitter followers.
Yeah.
We got to give him some ammo on Butler players here in terms of some things that he should be saying courtside. You would assume, hopefully, as the tournament moves on, maybe a little bigger crowds here. But hopefully, this courtside spot, we can get him back and get this going, Jay. Because as Jay's our stats guy here, and the stats prove that you had an impact on this game, man.
I love the fact that you've jumped on board, and Boise State fans are obviously clearly ready to support you. You kind of mentioned that, like, the last 24 hours. I mean, really, the last, like, I don't even know, 18 hours pretty much have been kind of wild. Like, when you entered that arena yesterday, did you have any anticipation that any of this might catch a little bit of attention or anything like that? You said that, a few years ago you were at an NBA game kind of doing a similar call. Did you have any idea that it might take off?
I mean, maybe a small inclination. Another thing from that NBA game is I made it on an episode of Shaqtin' a Fool because of that. But there was an inclination, but I don't know. It's like, no disrespect, but it's a smaller tournament. Vegas crowd wasn't very big, but I guess that's social media. Is a couple of people start throwing stuff out, and being as ridiculous as I sounded, it's not surprising. So I guess there was some inclination, but it was just ultimately, I don't know. I'm just trying to have fun. Had a couple beers, had some popcorn. Like, I don't know, at a basketball game sounds good on a Monday. Right on. I'm here for it. All right.
I think another thing too that kind of shows your loyalty. I mean, it's been a minute since the Utes have been what they were at basketball, and you still show up looking like this.
Right. I mean, that's a part of especially like college fandom. No disrespect to like current players by any means, but it's just like, there's kind of ebbs and flows. There's down years, there's up years, there's plateaus. Like that shouldn't stop you. Like, I've always had this stuff. Well, this jersey's new, this jersey specifically, but it's like, I don't know. I like the players. I like the team. I can't change where I was born from. So, like, this is my team. This is my family. Sure. I'm sure as you guys live it as well with Boise State. But it don't matter, good or bad. I'm here for it. Like,
where'd the chain come from?
They sell that in the concession stand there in the gift shop.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's exclusive to the tournament. So a little pricey, but I was like, all right, I'll just get it. It's cool. So.
And I did see Gus Johnson. They had Gus Johnson there yesterday. He had that on. He had the hat on. They got his photo. He was all, decked out in the crown gear. But yeah, Jay, maybe we can. Hopefully Friday you'll be here Saturday yourself to get it in person for the semifinals. But if not, maybe we can get one of those for Jay Tust and bring it back to Boise.
That sounds good to me.
You got to wear that thing, man. That's pretty cool. Hey, we appreciate you, Corey, for jumping on. I mean, these guys, I already like this guy, legend. Could hear him on TV. It was loud. They're calling it epic. Apparently, Leon Rice, I didn't see that, but the Boise State coach was even caught smiling during one of your screams when the guy missed the free throw there. They're saying it's the Cheech Screech. Let's see. They're loving you. But I'm going to get you connected with our man Jordan offline. I'll send you guys a group text or something. They claim they can get you some gear by tip-off tomorrow if you wear it. So we got to keep this thing rolling here.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks for
Appreciate you, man. Enjoy the fandom here. Let's get this guy. What's your X account, by the way? People are wondering. They want to start following you here.
So I put it as my username on this, but it's Corey, Corey_Cheech.
Let me see if I can figure out real quick how to throw that on the screen here. What do we got here? Oh, there it is. Corey_Cheech. That is his social media right there. Make sure you follow him. Where are you at right now in followers? We got to get this thing bumped up here.
I'm a little over. I think I'm now at probably like 630 or so. I was at.
Jay, all you need is Jay Tust to retweet you. If we can get Jay to retweet you on there, we'll get you over 1,000 here. And that should be the goal. Let's get him over 1,000 before tip off tomorrow, Jay.
I like it. We'll get you there.
90 yesterday. This is crazy. Crazy.
Corey, appreciate you, man. We'll see you at the game tomorrow. We'll come say hello. We appreciate you. Hopefully, we can get that gear down to you before the game tomorrow, and then enjoy all this, man. Soak it all in, and we'll be seeing you at the game tomorrow. And hey, Butler's a pretty solid squad, man. We need you to rest those vocal cords and be ready to go tomorrow.
All right. Yep. Sounds good, fellas. Thanks for having me on. Go Broncos.
There you go, Jay. I appreciate Corey for coming on, and fun little story there, Jay. But he's into it and he's all in now, and it sounds like we can keep this thing rolling on Wednesday.
Yeah, that's awesome. I gotta say, man, I didn't even know if I wasn't really paying attention to it at first, and then I just saw there was like a social media reaction to it, and I was like, yeah, this is hilarious. And apparently he was really taken off during the Butler game, which I didn't really watch that game. So that was, or I should say Utah, I guess. But anyways, it was That's hilarious, man. That is hilarious.
Corey has unseated Mike Prater as the most famous Utah fan in Boise now, according to Derek there. Corey can teach a lot of fans. Great lesson here. Best time to wear the colors and rally is when your team is not rolling.
Yeah, that's not bad. I didn't know we'd learn like a little moral fan sports lesson here on the show today, but yeah, that kind of works.
And Kurt is now following him on Twitter as well. All right, Jay, I'm going to go ahead and thank our second set of sponsors here. And then let's get back into this discussion about the portal and this tournament and the timing of everything and just what it means here moving forward for this team. But hey, Lithia Ford of Boise, lithiafordboise.com. We appreciate Jim Sturk and company for their support of Bronco Nation News. If you are looking for a new car or truck, Lithia Ford of Boise is your spot. You can view their full inventory online, do your research ahead of time. lithiafordboise.com. That's what the Raines family did. We had our two vehicles we liked, went in, test drove them, picked our F-150, and we were on our way in a couple of hours. Lithia Ford of Boise. Check them out online. lithiafordboise.com. Hey, Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Our player of the game last night was Pearson Carmichael. Congrats to him. Pearson Carmichael, our Bauscher Real Estate player of the game. When you buy or sell a home with Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate, you get to meet everybody in the picture there. Customer service is unmatched every step of the way. I highly recommend it. If you're looking to sell or buy a home, any size, doesn't matter. Huge home, small home, doesn't matter. Hit up our friend Matt Bauscher at Bauscher Real Estate. Ridley's Family Markets, shop ridleys.com. If you're looking for a hometown grocer, a friendly staff, environment, some great deals, find a Ridley's Family Markets near you. You can do that online at shopridleys.com. They have 13 locations across the state of Idaho, Magic Valley, Treasure Valley, up in McCall, and download that Skip app. Get savings up to 40% off the checkout line. That's Ridley's Family Markets at shopridleys.com. Hey, transportation compliance service, you want to get into the trucking industry? Well, we got you covered. We appreciate Jeff Meinert and company, Transportation Compliance Service. They're a local company in the Treasure Valley helping folks get signed up all over the United States, and all the DOT paperwork, everything you need to operate and drive that big rig. They can help you get it going online right now. Visit them, transcomservice.com. Lean Feast. I'll tell you what, I'm eating like a king down here at Circa, but cannot wait to get back on Lean Feast. LeanFeastMeridian.com. LeanFeastMeridian.com is the website. LeanFeastMeridian.com. 10,000 plus combinations, healthy meal options, steak, shrimp, chicken, fish. They're feeding the football team. They're feeding the basketball team. They can feed you as well. LeanFeastMeridian.com. Signature Roofing, speakpipe.com/BNN. I got to tell you what, Jay, these guys have an NIL deal with RJ Keene, so they've got a little group text with the guys at Signature Roofing and RJ Keene, and after every game, these guys cannot be more supportive of him, and the text messages after the games that I don't really, I'm on the thread, but I'm not really involved. I'm just reading, and these guys are so happy for RJ, and they took a chance on him, gave him one of his first, maybe his first NIL deal before the season, and to see what RJ is doing and contributing to this team, it's been pretty cool. And so I know Signature Roofing deserves some props for supporting RJ and stepping up when maybe he wasn't the star player getting all the NIL money, and now he's contributing. And you can return the favor by using Signature Roofing for all your roofing needs, whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, an inspection, all your roofing needs. Their website is mysignatureroofing.com. Check them out. Support Signature Roofing. And we appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News. And again, you can leave a voicemail at speakpipe.com/BNN. All right, Jay, just the crazy world we live in. We continue to see Boise State, by the way, listed with transfers that they're trying to talk to. So they're still trying to coach, but also reach out to transfers. I saw Elijah Price from Fresno is an interesting one, a 6'9" freshman that I saw Boise State has reached out to. You and I talked to Leon at practice last week, and the number, when you see a name on the, Boise State has reached out to this guy, I would guess it's like 10% of the actual players they reach out to, maybe that. I mean, there's not every kid is putting on social media who they talk to, not every kid that you put on social media that you're talking to has an offer from Boise State as well, as we've talked about this, I think, with you. We're just kind of getting that, communication going. But as it relates to Boise State, no additions yet, no visits yet. They're still playing. People are asking, who are they looking at, names and things like that. I don't know if you have any insight on this, Jay. Anything you can share about what you're hearing regarding transfer portal, legit shot at, or visits? I think they are trying to set the stage and foundation for this, but I also think they're trying to, win this tournament here as well. So I would suspect, as soon as they're out, they could set up some visits and get some guys back in Boise next week. I mean, some guys are starting to commit, but for the most part, there's a ton of players still out there. I wouldn't panic or anything at this point if I was a Boise State fan. But with that said, Jay, well, maybe you have a thought on that first. Anything on? We'll get to the current roster in a minute, but any Any thoughts on the portal and where Boise State could be looking to add?
Yeah, I don't think it's anything any more concrete than what you just offered up. But I think that this has already been a work in progress for Boise State. Like they're not waiting. I will say, as you were just kind of alluding to, like I caution fans whenever they see those lists of, some guy that's in the transfer portal and he tweets out a list of 64 teams that have contacted him. Like, I be cautious about that stuff. Like maybe it's happened, maybe it hasn't. In all honesty, there's probably a greater chance that there isn't anything substantial there than there is being something substantial. So it's fun. I'm not saying don't pay attention to it, go for it, have fun with it, but yeah, it's already been a work in progress. I mean, the portal opened up the Monday, basically Boise State got back to practicing for the Crown, and I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a coach that missed a practice or something along the way to maybe take a quick flight somewhere or do something like that just to meet up with somebody or something like that. And I mean, the backstory on Burns and Alvaro was outstanding last year too, where I mean, the day after the tournament, you and I are, man, basketball season's over. We get back to Boise, we're catching our breath, and
no. When that visit happened, you and me were not back in Boise yet. We were sitting on some layover at some airport, ticked off, hoping our families still remember us. I mean, no. They flew right back after the game. We were don't.
You're probably
paint
right.
the rosy picture here.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. Either way, he wasted no time going and meeting with Alvaro. So maybe another story like that emerges this year. I don't know, but they're not waiting right now. They're also trying to win a tournament.
They're trying to win this tournament, but they are no doubt, especially on a day like today where there's no game today. I mean, they're focused. Yeah. I know David Moats has the scout on Butler, but they are certainly reaching out, talking to guys, doing their homework, and yeah, they're not just sitting around waiting. They're still focused on the portal. They're trying to do that. But in terms of visits and things, I don't think any of that obviously can happen till they lose. What was the stat you said? I believe 25 points from the three seniors. So 64 of the 89 points of guys eligible to come back next year. And I believe right now, Jay, based on talking to coaches, family members, everybody else, I think they're in a pretty good spot with both Pearson Carmichael and Andrew Meadow. And man, I'll tell you what, Jay, Pearson Carmichael in particular, what he's done since burning the red shirt, it has, I think, changed the outlook. Maybe not for the whole team yet, because you don't know who else they're going to add and all this stuff. But if you're a fan and you're seeing what Pearson Carmichael's doing and you expect him to be a starter and a contributing player for this team next year, it really changes your thoughts on him and maybe on this roster. I think if he went from a guy that didn't play, hope he's good, heard good things, don't know anything about him, to, oh yeah, this guy's getting 15.6 assists in a postseason game in late March. You're very encouraged and excited about Meadows' development and Pearson Carmichael and some of these guys, but the cynical side of college basketball and all this is, I hope some booster with a lot of money wasn't watching the game yesterday.
Yeah, that is just the way that this is, and even the way that you said it a little bit earlier, there are only a handful of teams that are playing right now. I mean, you're probably looking at 98% of college basketball is done playing games right now. And amongst that, it's not like those 98 could all go out and have the NIL funds to go attract somebody by any means, but there are a handful of them out there. So
I believe by the end of the day tomorrow, Jay, there will be 14 teams left in all of college basketball. There will be 8 left in this tournament. You'll have the 4 left in the Final Four. And I believe tonight is the semifinals of the NIT. So you'll have 2 NIT teams left. So I believe 14 teams out of 365 will still be playing as of Wednesday morning.
So there you wouldn't have the NIL funds to pluck somebody from Boise State's roster, but there are those that do, and those are the ones that absolutely scare you. I hope that Pearson can put it together for back-to-back games. I think that, we've seen him in nice little bursts, but to put it together in back-to-back games would be a step forward in his development. And can he go out and finish in double figures again against Butler? That would be really cool, and it'd bode well for Boise State, and we'll see. And you bring up the main pieces, but I think that RJ Keene's a key piece to the culture, and I think that I think that guys like him and all that stuff matters. And so Leon spends a lot of time building culture and things like that, and this is where you hope it all pays off, because you want guys that want to stick together through all this.
And I hadn't really noticed it, Jay, but I mean, you're 100% right. 4 of the 5 guys that scored in double figures are coming back next year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they can get, I mean, and I know we're not talking, next year they got to win this tournament, but what Carmichael's done, I still think Meadows a better outside 3-point shooter, in terms of the volume of the season than what he has shown. But he's obviously shown with his driving ability now that he's, obviously a guy that if he has another offseason could have a really big junior year. We mentioned Carmichael, Julian Bowie, what he did, Buchanan coming back. You mentioned Keene, Ugbo. And down the line, if they can find the right pieces in the portal, I know fans don't like it when we hype up the team because, they're just going to underachieve, whatever. But I mean, there's no reason with all the defections in the Mountain West right now, this team shouldn't be among the favorites if they can find the right guys or two in the portal.
Well, that's what it seems like the key strategy to this whole transfer portal era is, BJ, and that's just like, number one, you want to win games because guys want to make money, yes, but they also want to be on winners and have a chance to play in the NCAA tournament. And if you come to Boise State, you're probably going to be in the mix to at the very least do that. And then on top of that, you always want to have like just this form of the next wave, the next nucleus where, the guys that you go out and recruit, you can point to them and say, hey, we're going to plug you in with Andrew Meadow and Pearson Carmichael and RJ Keene and Julian Bowie and Javen Buchanan and Emmanuel Ugbo. Like, you want that because you also, for a guy that might be a little bit older and transferring, I think that he's going to want some pieces around him because, he wants to win. So Boise State has seemingly kind of developed a little bit of this recipe for success in the portal, and now time will tell. The Ethan Price kid or Elijah Price kid he'd be an intriguing one to me. I don't have a friggin' clue on that the legitimacy of that one, but he knows the Mountain West. Big, athletic. That would be an intriguing one.
All right, final couple things real quick, Jay. Omar Stanley yesterday only played 8 minutes and 16 seconds, took 1 3-point shot, 3 shots overall, did have 6 rebounds in 8 minutes. But in the second half, he did start the second half and then was seen kind of wearing his warm-up shirt sitting there towards the end of the bench, for most of the second half, was into the game, but didn't go in at the end when they were, could have emptied the bench. Had the warm-up shirt on, like I said. I don't know if there's some sort of injury that he sustained. I didn't see anything. But what do you make of Omar Stanley only getting 8 minutes?
I'm not, honestly, BJ, that's just been...
He did have 3 fouls, though.
He did, but 3, you can still play through that. That's a tough one, man. I don't know. And most of his minutes kind of came in that early stretch where Boise State was just not playing good basketball, and I'm not ready to pin that all on Omar Stanley. I can tell you that.
Unfortunately, was the only player with a negative plus minus was negative 5.
I did, and everybody else's plus minus was insane. I mean, Brendan Ramirez played 5 minutes or 1 minute, and he was even plus 5. So
I got to get on Andrew Meadow for a second, though, man. Like, you're up by 30, dude. We don't need Andrew Meadow driving to the rack. Find a way to get Brendan Ramirez a shot here. Come on.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Right? Don't you want to get the walk-on a chance to score in the postseason here?
Dude, he's in the book. He got a rebound. I mean, it would be cool if he scored a point, but he got a rebound. Like he is in the stat sheet.
I know, but we've had, I don't think he's scored yet in his time playing here. So I mean, get the guy a shot here. Come on.
Yeah, I think one time he had an opportunity to, and he tried to throw an alley-oop to Dylan Anderson or something.
Yes. Final thing, Jay, here in terms of what this tournament means or doesn't mean. I talked to Prater about this yesterday. I mean, Antonio Spaghettio here. What has Leon done the last 7 weeks that merits another year? I know you love to kill fans. We're really celebrating missing the tournament in Tu's senior year and beating a mid-George Washington team. I don't think we're celebrating it. I think we've been very clear, Jay. This is a nice consolation prize, but it's a consolation. It's not the NCAA tournament. Even winning this, Mike Prater actually said winning this tournament makes the season a success. I don't know. I mean, I think there is a debate there. I mean, it certainly gets the guys some money. They would, Jay, if they win this tournament, set the program record with 28 wins.
Yeah, no.
They tied it, I believe, with 27 a couple years ago, or maybe they said it a couple years ago with 27 wins in 2022. But they could get to 28 wins if they win this tournament, which would be a record. You'd get they have by the way, the actual throne. They have a throne and a crown. I mean, whoever wins this tournament, it's like the turnover throne they used to have for Boise State football. They're going to have Tyson Degenhart sitting in that throne, wearing the crown. Maybe they'll have the, cape or whatever. I don't know. But, that's for the weekend. But just in terms of, yes, I don't think anyone is trying to sell this as, I mean, we joke about it. Yeah. Oh, who would have thought Boise State would be the last team in the Mountain West still playing? Oh, what? But I don't think anybody has I haven't, that you haven't come out and said this is, you'd rather be Boise State right now than New Mexico or Colorado State or even San Diego State losing in the first four. I mean, I think that it's cool tournament. It's a cool experience. It's nice to get some momentum moving forward here, but certainly it's not where they wanted to be. Pearson Carmichael on his own said that in the post-game press conference. It's not the tournament we want to be in, but we're excited to try to make the most of it here. So I think with that said, though, Jay, what do you make in terms of if they lose on Wednesday versus win this thing versus what this tournament actually means, and how do you view the season based off what happens here in the next couple of days?
I think that the NCAA tournament's the ultimate prize. Like there's that like 100% you would rather have the NCAA tournament over this, no doubt about it. Even if it meant losing in the first round, you would rather have the NCAA tournament. But I think that if they can win this tournament, as you said, they would set the school record for wins, and they would ultimately get $300,000, which I think that's great. My dog's barking in the background. Just a second.
Call me crazy, but winning the crown and getting all that NIL money is arguably better than getting smoked in Dayton. How do you guys feel on that? I know that the trolls, I'm sure, will say no, but let us know in the chat how you feel about that. Would you rather have lost in Dayton badly like San Diego State did, or win the crown tournament? Jay, BSU Bill here. Call me crazy. Winning the crown, getting all the NIL money is arguably better than getting smoked in Dayton. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I get smoked in Dayton.
Well, San Diego State, got smoked by
yeah.
That's probably why they're bringing it up here.
I still think that carries more value. And that's an NCAA tournament share. It helps the school. But if you want to talk about helping the players, like I definitely think that it would be reasonable to say that winning the crown salvages the season. And if people don't want to relate to that, that's fine. The expectation was the NCAA tournament. No, they didn't get to that point. But to find a way to go on a run, beat some name programs, on the way to potential crown victory, be the first team to do it maybe, and secure some much-needed NIL money to help your players, that's big to me.
I never would have thought this up until right this second, Jay, but like given the history of this program, never winning an NCAA tournament game, they have won, a couple conference titles, but if they win the crown, it'd be their first postseason, tournament championship of any kind. They would have the wins record. If they win the crown, is this the best season in the history of Boise State basketball?
No, it's not. The Abu Kijab led Tyson Degenhart true freshman team is the best. And that pains me because they're going to go back to the
talented. I guess I'm just saying the best results or the best. Can you say they had the best season in the history of Boise State basketball if they don't win the conference title, finish 5th in the conference standings, but win the most games in history in a season and win the first postseason tournament in history?
Comparison is the thief of joy. I don't want to compare. I still don't think so. I don't think you can say that. I don't.
I'm probably there with you. I think 2022, the run they went, you win the regular season, you also win the conference tournament title. In a league that got multiple teams to the tournament, you were the best team in the regular season and the postseason. But
I think the only thing I'll say is that not only you get the record for victories in a season, but Tyson Degenhart would get to end his career with a win.
Could it be the single biggest win in the championship game in terms of individual games? Their first postseason championship game, the NIL money that's on the line. Cheech storming the court,
because they haven't won an NCAA tournament game. I guess maybe you could make that argument, but I'd probably argue
Creighton or some of the top 10 wins they've had. I don't know.
Even the Mountain West tournament, they've won it once. Even that win,
the Mountain West championship game against San Diego State.
Yeah,
probably has to be the best. Probably.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's at least debatable. This season would go up there in terms of you could certainly call it one of the best seasons in school history, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Which is crazy to think about.
Yep.
Interesting. Jay, appreciate you for jumping on, man. I know it's an off day for KTVB, so you're battling dogs and family and kids, and we appreciate you, as always, on a Tuesday. We need a Boise State win on Wednesday. I don't root for Boise State, but I want Jay Tust down here in Las Vegas for the weekend. Yeah. We need a win on Wednesday, and we can get Jay Tust down here, and excited to hopefully have 3 more games to talk about, Jay.
I hope so. Hopefully the They get one tomorrow, and I'll be back. I'll be down there on Friday evening, gearing up for a nice little weekend of
You got any
coverage.
winners for me today? I had a rough day yesterday, Jay. Your Washington Cougars didn't exactly help me out last
You know what?
night.
Normally I would chastise. You just called them the Washington Cougars, and normally I'd chastise you, but I'm kind of mad at them right now too because they gave up 18 offensive rebounds. And call them whatever you want. You can't allow the other team to rebound 61% of their misses and expect to win a game. That was a little bit of a frustrating way for the season to end for me over there. But
fitting, it seems like.
Ask Johnny because I'm not any good at that.
Johnny
stuff.
is a all-time great sports gambler, so I think we need
Yes.
to reach out to Johnny and get some winners
Yeah.
today. Dan says, "Don't ask him about the Mariners, Jay."
Yes, another team.
It's rough right. It's rough right now for.
It's rough right now.
Seattle
It's a rough day.
Pacific Northwest sports fans. Jay, have a great day, man. Appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon, man. The great Jay Tust, sports director, KTVB, did an outstanding job hosting a Sunday Sports Extra, by the way, by himself the other night. Go back and watch that if you can. But we are here at Circa Resort and Casino. Yeah, I don't know. I hadn't thought about that, but that is a very interesting thought. Boise State this season, if they win the crown, where does it rank in the all-time great seasons at Boise State history? Now, some programs would laugh at that. But again, Boise State doesn't have that history. They've never won an NCAA tournament game. When that happens, Boise State could be 0-27 and win the Mountain West tournament and win a game in the tournament, and it would become the greatest season in history, winning a game in the NCAA tournament whenever that happens. But to this point, that hasn't happened. So you win the first postseason tournament in history. The players get $300,000 in NIL money, and you get the most wins in a season. And you throw in the fact that you beat some of the teams you beat this year, Clemson, St. Mary's, and what you did. I mean, it's at least in the conversation. I probably would agree that 2022 is better. But yeah, and as T-Pet32 here says, yeah, let's slow down a little bit. 3 wins to go, and certainly that Butler game on Wednesday is really going to be a tough game. Ken Pom has this number at 4 for Boise State. Boise State favored by 4 at Ken Pom, 76-72. We'll see what the line comes out to be. Butler is number 75 at Ken Pom. So I'm looking at the list here of all the games they've played. They lost a lot of games, 19 losses this year, but they lost to a lot of good teams. They lost to Houston, Wisconsin, Marquette, Connecticut, Villanova, St. John's, Providence, Creighton, Connecticut, Marquette, Georgetown, Xavier, St. John's again, Villanova, Xavier, Creighton, St. John's. I mean, almost all their losses. They had one terrible loss early in the season to Austin Peay. But for the most part, they've lost to a lot of good teams. And playing in the Big East every night, those guys are tough, and they're going to be ready to go. And so this is not going to be an easy game by any means. But Boise State is favored to win by 4, 76-72 is the Ken Pom projection for this game tomorrow. It is a 4 o'clock Pacific time start, 5 o'clock in Boise. I know the broadcast is saying 4:30. I believe that's for like a 30-minute pregame show. I believe the actual game starts at 5 o'clock in Boise. And yeah, I agree. They win the crown. Let Cheech up there and hoist the trophy up or get on the throne for a couple of seconds there. Yeah, let's keep having fun. And yeah, as Derek points out, hey, Leon Rice 5-2 in March, and for the first time, I believe in history, they're going to play a game in April, which sounds crazy just to say, but Boise State will play tomorrow on April 2nd. And yes, they did play last year in the what tournament was that? The Orlando, I forget what it was called, the ESPN Events Invitational. Boise State did play Butler last year. That did not go great, but obviously new teams on both sides, so I wouldn't put too much stock into that in advance. But we're here at Circa Resort and Casino, and this place is amazing. I love Circa. Hope you guys can make it down here sometime. We appreciate them. Had a chance to see Derek Stevens. Hope you enjoyed hearing him on the pregame show yesterday. But love Circa, love Stadium Swim. Having a great time here, and hope you guys can make it out at some point to Circa and Stadium Swim. I mean, I'll see if I can do this on the fly here and try to show you guys what I'm looking at here. I don't know if the camera is going to work, but I will try. This is the view that I have out my hotel window. If I can pull this off, we'll try to show you what we're looking at here. Here's the Stadium Swim window. How about that? That's literally right outside my my hotel room here at Circa. You can see the pools. They're doing some cleaning and renovating, so those front pools are closed right now. They're going to open up this afternoon. The third pools up top are open, and there's a good amount of people up here on the third level that you can't see. But they are cleaning the pools today. But look at that. Right outside my window, right outside your window at Circa. You can watch all the games. You can see all the odds. Beautiful day here in Las Vegas, and pretty cool that is literally right there. And I'm sitting in it. I have a standard, this is not a suite or anything. This is a standard king room. And you look how nice it is here, and it's got I'm on a very nice couch, and it's very I got the gold pillow here. I mean, this is a super nice room. Appreciative of Aaron, of Tyler, of David, Derek, Wilbo, everybody here at Circa, man. Love this place, and happy to be down here for the Crown tournament. So thank you guys. Appreciate you so much for checking out the show. Come down to Circa. Next time you take a trip down here, you will not be disappointed. And I'm going to be heading over to practice today. We'll have some off-day interviews with Coach Rice and some players. So make sure you stay tuned for that later today on our YouTube channel. And then I'll have a morning show tomorrow, 9 a.m. We will talk a little football tomorrow, but we will mostly talk basketball as well. I think we'll have some football guys on maybe on Thursday to do a show. So I'll work on that. But basketball tomorrow, getting you set for the game. So thank you guys. Go subscribe if you can. Read my story at BroncoNationNews.com. Nathan Carroll has sent me a story. I'll be posting that shortly as well. And tons of coverage. BroncoNationNews.com. You can go read Mike Prater's column on Leon Rice as well. Highly recommend that. And, appreciate you guys as always. Go subscribe. Help out our travel efforts here. BNN 50 deal. You can get a 1-year subscription for $50 at BNN, BroncoNationNews.com. But you just watched almost an hour-long show here on YouTube. So it's my annual plea. Please support the sponsors. Make this show continue to stay free of charge. Help us out. Support the sponsors. Allow us to pay Jay Tust, pay John Mallory, pay Mike Prater, pay Riley Smith and all these guys, and be able to continue to bring this coverage to you on social media free of charge. So if you can subscribe, we'd love to have you. If you can't afford it, I understand it. Money's tough. But at least go visit Taco Bell or Jackson's or all of our sponsors, rowpaint.com, and let them know it's because of their work and their support of Bronco Nation News. So appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for your support of BNN. And I agree, Sky. Nathan Carroll, you spelled his last name wrong. That's all right. Great articles, good addition to BNN, very smart kid. Yes, he is. Melinda, appreciate you. Weird being down here at Circa and not seeing you guys, but we're going to be back for the contest weekend in August. So start making plans for that. Anybody that wants to enter those football contests, get your buddies together. $1,000 entry. If you get 3 or 4 guys, it's only a couple $100. Come down to Circa in August. It's like the August 24th weekend, I believe, week 0 of the college football season. We'll be hanging out. We'll be partying, and looking forward to that in August. So make sure you make plans now for contest weekend to come on down and hang out with us here at Circa. So appreciate it, guys. Support the sponsors. Give us that like, give us that share, give us that subscription on YouTube. And again, check our YouTube channel later today for some interviews with Leon Rice and players from practice as we get ready for Butler tomorrow. Read Nathan Carroll's article here shortly on Bronco Nation News and BroncoNationNews.com. And excited for what's ahead here. Bronco Nation News and in Las Vegas, coverage of the Crown Tournament as the Broncos get set to take on the Butler Bulldogs tomorrow, although it just said dogs on their jersey yesterday. The Dogs and the Broncos, 5 o'clock Mountain Time tomorrow. And you can check our website, check our social media channels, check our YouTube channel. Full coverage throughout the day today and tomorrow, getting you set for the game. So appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day, and we will talk to you 8 a.m. tomorrow with Bronco Nation News Live. And again, we'll have full coverage this afternoon of practice, and we'll get you set for that game tomorrow against Butler. So thanks a lot. Have a great rest of your day, and we will talk to you guys later. This is BJ Rains live on a Taco Bell Tuesday. Go visit Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. We appreciate them as well from the Western Collective Studios here at Circa. My name is BJ Rains, and we will talk to you later. Go subscribe, folks. Bronco Nation News Live here at BroncoNationNews.com.
Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, rowpaint.com. Our major sponsors, Idaho Central Credit Union, Taco Bell, Lithia Ford, the Blue and Orange Store, Jackson's, and our contributing sponsors, Signature Roofing, Western Collective, Snake River Pool and Spa, Transportation Compliance Service, Boucher Real Estate, Ridley's Family Markets, Circa Las Vegas, Lean Feast, and Timberstone Golf Course.